From the exam room to the courtroom, this morning, new fronts in the fight against COVID-19. The CDC finding 16 to 24-year-olds who received the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine have experienced higher than normal cases of myocarditis and inflammation of the heart muscle. Myocarditis symptoms can include fever and fatigue, shortness of breath, and chest pain. The CDC said the higher rate of cases occurred especially among young men following their second dose of an mRNA vaccine, but notes the reports are rare, given the number of vaccine doses administered, and that most patients quickly felt better after receiving care. Federal officials calling it a clear imbalance, but adding more research needs to be done to confirm whether the vaccines are to blame.
The benefits of getting vaccinated far, far, far outweigh any of the potential risks or side effects.
The FDA turning its attention to kids. A top advisor now saying all children should be vaccinated, stressing herd immunity is critical with more contagious variants on the way. Now under FDA review, Moderna's new COVID vaccine specifically for 12 to 17-year-olds. But in Texas at Houston Methodist, doubts over all the vaccines have led to legal action.
You're willing to lose your job over this?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because I am not going to take that vaccine.
Jennifer Bridges, one of 117 hospital workers now part of a mass action lawsuit suing Houston Methodist for its policy requiring all staff to be vaccinated or terminated. The hospital thanking the more than 24,000 other employees who followed policy.
What the mandate has allowed us to do is go that last mile and get everybody vaccinated so we have every layer of protection for our patients that we possibly can.
And a court hearing has been set up for later today regarding that lawsuit here at Houston Methodist. And they are far from the only hospital group to have a vaccine mandate. Johns Hopkins Medicine, based in Baltimore, Maryland, has a similar rule in place. No pending litigation there so far.
Tonight, the U.S. is approaching 600,000 confirmed COVID deaths and could hit that milestone this weekend. There's also been another major setback for Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine. We get more now from CBS's Omar Villafranca.
Tonight, more troubling news for Johnson & Johnson. The FDA reportedly telling J&J 60 million doses produced at the Emergent Biosolutions factory are possibly contaminated and need to be thrown out. J&J had promised to deliver 100 million doses by the end of May, but as of mid-June, fewer than 22 million have actually shipped. States haven't received anything in a month. Vaccine supply, though, not a problem. Millions of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are available, but demand is way down, like in Oklahoma.
We were able to get up to about 15,000 vaccines a day, and now we're right around 2,000 a day. So we are so much farther below capacity.
In the race to vaccinate, Oklahoma ranks near the bottom. Just 54% of adults have had at least one dose. Nationwide, it's 64%. Oklahoma now has 75,000 doses of unused J&J vaccine that expire in August, and 26,000 unused Pfizer doses set to expire at the end of the month.
What do you think is still fueling the hesitancy?
There has been an anti-vaccine movement, and it's actually quite strong here in Oklahoma, unfortunately.
But some aren't holding back.
There's no reason to be skeptical. I felt like it was my due diligence to go ahead and get vaccinated.
We do need to race against the risk of a resurgence. We need to get that number as high as we can before the fall so we don't have a reemergence of COVID.
State health officials are pushing for younger adults to get vaccinated by the fall before classes start up again, like here at the University of Oklahoma, and before the start of the college football season, where many stadiums will be back to full capacity. Nora?
Omar Villafranca, thank you.
Now to the coronavirus in the U.S. and tonight the CDC is now investigating a potential link between vaccines and heart inflammation in younger Americans. So far, more than 200 cases, but that's out of millions of vaccinations of young people. Tonight, the symptoms to look for. Meantime, the push to vaccinate young people continues. This evening, Moderna now applying for emergency use authorization to vaccinate 12 to 17-year-olds. And the numbers tonight, 172 million Americans with at least one dose. That's about 61% of everyone 12 years and older in this country. And tonight here, we continue to report on concerns that huge batches of the vaccine are set to expire and could go unused. But tonight, word from the FDA, they're extending the shelf life of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine by 6 weeks. Here's Marcus Moore.
An expert panel today taking a closer look at reports of heart inflammation among young people after they received the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. The CDC now reporting preliminary data of 226 cases of myocarditis in people younger than 30 out of millions of people vaccinated. So far, there is no firm link to the vaccine. Though still rare, the case numbers are higher than the CDC would expect to see in the general population.
When you see myocarditis, it tends to be found within a few days, 2 to 3 days after the second dose of the vaccine. And it seems to start with chest pain, shortness of breath, and exercise intolerance.
Doctors are being told to look out for symptoms just like that, but cases appear to be mild and go away with treatment. Moderna today joining Pfizer in applying for authorization for its vaccine for 12 to 17-year-olds. Just 28% of that age group has gotten their first dose. Some parents are still not ready to vaccinate their children.
I would prefer to wait just to see how things go. As of now, I don't want to even consider it.
Pfizer and Moderna now testing lower doses of the vaccine in children 11 and younger.
1, 2, 3.
At Ochsner Health in Louisiana, 6-year-old Ellie Bowie is participating in Pfizer's trial. Her younger siblings, 3 and 14 months old, will get their shots soon too. Their parents are doctors.
For us, our kids living safely in a world where we don't have to worry about them getting sick from COVID, being able to go to school, have play dates with their friends, we feel strongly that vaccine is what is going to get us to those goals.